Hello friends, I'm Marland and this is MV Pittman Cross Sim Racing. And this is the Simagic Alpha GT Neo. And even when it's upside down, it is still one of the best value wheels you can get. At 250 bucks new, hard to beat. At $200 used with MagLink included, unstoppable. One thing that you might need though, if you don't have a Simagic wheelbase, is that MagLink. But the MagLink actually runs a cable. What it does is connect internally by removing and replacing this plate that holds the QR, and then you connect a cable to the magnetic adapter that is actually replacing the small USB-C port on the bottom. So that's one way of running it, but I don't plan on running it that way. I use the QRX quick release, and on the inside is a JST connector with an unmarked pinout, but USB is always power, ground, data positive, and data negative for USB 2.0 anyway. Even if it's a USB-C connector that is reversible, you're still going to need those 4 lines. So what I did, I looked for published specs. I asked for published specs, didn't find them, so I got a multimeter, connected this to the base side, and then the base side cable has a USB-A connection with a known pinout. So I ran a test from that end to each of these pins to find out what signal was being sent on each connector, and not a signal actually being sent, just for continuity between a specific item on the USB-A side to these connectors. And I found out and I wrote it down, and now I can build cables. So for those of you who know about building cables, this is a JST XH 2.54 connector, meaning there is 2.54 millimeters between each of the holes on here, and all you need is a crimping tool and one of these connectors, and you can cut off any USB cable and then use it. So as long as your cable has 4, you can find out what the connectors are. But typically, please test. You have red for power, black for ground. Data positive will usually be green, and data negative will be white. But please test your stuff, man. If you don't, you could destroy whatever it is you're connecting. And although this is only 250 bucks, there are wheels that are much more expensive that you probably don't want to damage. Anyway, wheels on the inside connected in a number of different ways, but as we mentioned before, this one has USB-C port. So when I use QRX, usually what I do is run from whatever's internal to the wheel to a JST XH 2.54 connection for this. So some wheels have USB-C on the outside, some have JST XH 2.54 on the inside. A couple GSI wheels actually have a JST PH 2.0 connector, meaning there's 2 millimeters in between the pins on the connector. So, it could be anything. What you have to do is look, find out, connect it. 2.54 is pretty common. USB-C is becoming very common on external, so you don't have to do anything except buy a cable that is USB-C and is short. Also, if you have some wheels that have a long coiled lumber connector, you can usually get a version of your quick release that actually connects with an external connector like this. So my plan is to make one. I will find a spacer and probably tuck that in like that, make sure it doesn't yank on the cable, and then leave this dangling. And then now I have a quick release with a USB-A port available. I could also make this shorter and make a spacer that fit in there so it would look like some of the other ones, but this is what I had laying around. So this is what I'm demonstrating with. And also I label my cables, so see if I can get that right for you guys. USB A, female to QRX. That's what this is. If if I didn't label this, it's entirely possible I could mistake this for something else and then be super sad when I break my wheel. So label your cables, friends. This is part of the solution, but probably what I will do is actually replace this with a cable that goes all the way from the USB-C connector on the back of the Simagic Alpha GT Neo, and then run that all the way through spacer and then into this. But for demonstration purposes, I will mount this to my wheelbase like that, and then I'll borrow the USB-C cable from my DDU. So DDU is not working right now, but that's okay. And of course, I labeled both ends of that DDU cable. So USB-A on this side, USB-C on this side. So if you had a really short USB-C cable, you could probably double this up, but this is a lot of cable to have. And part of the whole thing with USB pass-through is to make things really, really tidy. So probably what I'll do is I'll add a spacer to run the cable through, and then probably a 50mm spacer, a lot like I did on the GTE Pro version 3. So when you plug this in, your wheel lights up because it's totally working, no problems. Get a beep, everything's connected. If I was using OBS, I would show you my screen, but I'm not, so this is what you get. And I'm excited to try out this value wheel and try out some of the features, some of the new things that Simagic has come up with. So this has been a short video just explaining how USB-C pass-through can work on a wheel. Even if this isn't in the middle, you can certainly run a pass-through cable that way. So that's an option. And just a quick reminder of how USB-C or USB pass-through can work even if you don't have a connector. This is where the WAPU connector, in this case for a Picorni wheel, can work. So internally, I connected the cable, then ran it out, and then ran it through a small spacer here with a hole in it, and then ran that cable through the spacer into this QRX quick release. So essentially, I'm going to do something similar with this wheel. USB-C through a spacer into the quick release that I will replace because I'm not using Simagic's QR. It looks nice, but I've already made a significant investment in QRX. So that's how you can use USB-C pass-through on the Simagic Alpha GT Neo. If you have questions, put them in the comments. If you have concerns, put them in the comments. If you have complaints, don't put them in the comments. Just click thumbs up, and that way I'll know that you are a hater. If you are not a hater, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. And until the next time, I'm Marland with MV Pittman Cross Sim Racing. I'll see you guys in the next one.